hope my mic works. She's the man. So, in honor of
Shakespeare's Day,
we're gonna talk about She's the Man. The only.
Why are we talking about She's the Man for Shakespeare's Day? In case people don't know.
We're talking about She's the Man because A, is incredible.
We should always talk about
Everyone
it.
should watch it and we should always talk about She's the Man.
Yeah, I agree.
B, it's based on the 12th Night. It's one of those amazing movies, part of a, I think, short and long series at the same time of movies that in the early 2000s have been inspired by Shakespeare's comedies. And
I wish they did more.
Like 10 Things That I Hate About You.
The Lion King.
The Lion King. Because we were bored, we were thinking, let's watch something that does not require us to, you know, commit too much.
And also we wanted to watch a good movie.
Yeah, we wanted to go with something that we knew for sure would have satisfied us. So we went for She's the Man. Believe it or not. And it still slaps.
Still slaps. You said though, when we were watching it, you didn't say that specifically, but there are some things that didn't age well.
What?
Would you like to further elaborate?
You need to...
Oh, because you were talking about the fat phobia that's very typical of the early 2000s, and also like the kind of ugly girl stereotype, ooh, loser.
It is true. You can't avoid it. When you're gonna watch an early 2000 movie, there's gonna be a good share amount of fat phobia, in the sense that you will have it in the plot, even though it has nothing to do with the plot. It would be...
I mean, even Mean Girls.
Yeah, it would be
Sadly.
a minor character who just exists and who is always portrayed as lame, lazy, a loser, someone who doesn't have a life, someone who is insecure, someone who's not confident, someone who's short of breath where someone else is running, and it's just unnecessary. First of all, it's the United States. Don't even let me start. Like, it's impossible. There's gonna be one extremely fat person that is just, you know, it's
just one.
You know, it's just one fat person that has all the hate. And
but also, it's not funny.
It's not funny.
Like,
it has the camera on that character for 2 seconds just for us to have a cheap laugh. And it's like, I mean, why do fat people have to be funny just because they're fat?
Yeah.
You know what like, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely don't understand why we need 2 seconds, camera on a fat person, let's laugh about them simply because of their looks. And it's not just, you know, larger people, it's people with bracers.
Yeah, like, what's her face? Does she have Eunice. I think she has a bit of a redemption at the end. So I'm very glad. I think in other films she wouldn't have.
In a weird way, but also she is so over the top and so weird, which I do understand. It's a comedy, and it's comedy in early 2000s. They were a little bit stretched out to the very paradox, right? They weren't supposed to be realistic. You were supposed to laugh at how ridiculous situations were. So they were very parodic, very caricature, but at the same time, it tells you something about the culture that we lived in the 2000s, like this fat versus skinny narrative that even I am victim of it because I was born in those years.
Yeah.
So I'm conditioned to be basically fat phobic in a way because I was educated by those movies.
Yeah, but
and it's bad.
Yeah, but also I think something else that kind of betrays its 2000, you know, production time is that Viola is like, she's so like, I'm not like other girls kind of person. And I think you can easily look past it, but now that we're used to a more nuanced, perhaps, portrayal of women in media, it's a bit like much.
Yeah.
Because she's always like, I'm not wearing makeup, I'm not wearing heels, I don't like that dress. Because she plays football, and because otherwise she wouldn't stand on her own as a protagonist if she was like other girls.
She's a pick-me girl.
She's so pick-me, I hate her.
She's a pick-me girl.
I love her.
You love her. We love her.
don't.
That's the unique thing, that's the fucked up thing about She's the Girl. I think it's a great comedy, and I love this comedy. but at the same
It's
time,
very 2000.
it's so 2000. Like, she is
Yeah.
a pick-me girl, and I love the character, but it's impossible for me, being 23 now, watching this movie, not thinking, okay, you have to be one or the other. You either like dresses or you like football. You can't like both.
Like, you're either Monique, who's portrayed in a very negative way, or you're Viola. And nobody wants to be
slutty
Monique.
character of 2000. Early 2000 always has the blonde, slutty, stupid character.
And she has fantastic lines, can I just say? She's amazing. She's
so
hilarious.
iconic.
I love
She
her.
would be today's it girl. Like, today,
Like that girl.
she would be that girl. She would be, I think, maybe not that girl in what Urban Dictionary would describe as that girl or it girl, but she would be portrayed in such more positive light.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Whereas Viola would be not portrayed in a positive light.
Yeah,
because
she would have
she's
to
a pick-me
change.
girl. Yeah, exactly. So it's very interesting because rewatching it gave us a lot to think in terms of how our culture changed and how many things that now would be considered problematic were just accepted in an early 2000 comedy. In terms of cringe, right? I think there is cringe and there's cringe, right? There are different levels of cringe. There is that type of cringy, cheesy movie that you would just, you have secondhand embarrassment, but you still love it. And then there are cringy movies, and you know where I'm going with that. They're
I think so.
absolutely unwatchable, unbearable. Because after She's the Man marathon, the following day we rewatched
Oh, God.
The Kissing Booth.
Yeah, but that's just bad.
Exactly, that is.
I think I agree
cringy,
with
but-
you. I think the difference is that She's the Man is a very well-made film with some of the actors that can actually act. And The Kissing Booth is just something made to make money where nobody actually cares about either the comedy or the plot. It's just weak.
I do agree. So it's like there are different levels of cringe,
Yeah.
Like, The Kissing Booth is absolutely
Yeah, bad.
just
I'm sorry.
unbearable. It's
We should talk
unbearable.
about The Kissing Booth one day.
We definitely should, but it's just to say that She's the Man has a level of cringing that is nostalgic in a way.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's still, like, enjoyable.
it is. Channing Tatum is a
absolutely.
good actor.
100%. And, yeah, he's funny.
He is
Because we don't really
fantastic
see
at
him
the
being
time.
funny, I think, in a lot of films.
I mean, I think it's still sort of like maintained that sort of like it maintained comedy,
Yeah.
I think.
But
And
he's
it's-
really funny.
He's really funny. I mean, 21 Jump Street, I think that's the movie, is absolutely
Oh, yeah,
incredible
yeah.
in that.
But I think in a lot of films he's I don't want to say typecast.
It started to be like that, I think, at the beginning, but I know he escaped the typecast.
Yeah. She's the Man is a rework of Shakespeare, and I think it must have been really hard to take a Shakespeare comedy and work it into a high school setting. But so I really want to commend that, and I think a lot of other films do that, like 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
But I also really like the little kind of Easter eggs for those of us that enjoy the Shakespeare, I don't want to say inspiration, but the Shakespeare inspiration, and those of us that you don't have to know the 12th Night to enjoy She's the Man.
Absolutely.
But if you know the 12th Night, it's really funny because I think there's little Easter eggs, like, and it's just really fun to watch. Like, what's his face? What's his character's name?
Which one?
Oh, Channing Tatum.
Duke Orsino.
Exactly. And obviously Viola, her name is Viola, and Sebastian, like, they kept the names, and I think they did such a good job at making it very natural, and the plot points flow very well, despite it being something that was written by Shakespeare in the Middle
Still
Ages.
slaps Shakespeare. William!
Yeah, absolutely. But also for theater. So I think that must have been so hard to do. Also because Shakespeare, a lot of the jokes were very much taken to the context of the time.
Yeah.
Shakespeare is hilarious, especially the comedies, but I think today is really hard to relate to that because it's a lot about context and knowing the actors who played those characters. So I just think they did such a good job, and I, for one, Shakespeare would be proud. Like, I think he'd just laugh his ass off.
So
Like,
too.
he'd love
They
it.
really captured the sort of like light mood of it and how easy it is to watch because you're supposed to laugh and not think.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really hard to accept, but you're not supposed to think.
But also, I think
it's pure entertainment.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be like it doesn't have to be believable. Like,
exactly.
the 12th Night is not believable. That's the whole point.
I think you're absolutely right, because all the time I was watching the movie, all I could think of was how the hell people are they're actually thinking they're twins. And you're absolutely right. You're not supposed to believe they're twins, because in the actual theater back then, Shakespeare's time, there were two men already playing, like, you know, those supposed woman and man, like the two brother and sister.
Also, they were probably all men.
They were probably all men, so it was supposed to be unbelievable, and I think it was meant to be like that, because it plays a huge part into why it is funny.
Exactly.
It's just a great comedy. It's unbelievable, it's stupid, but stupid in the best way possible. Sometimes stupid comedies...
It works.
Work.
I think it's also because... as opposed to maybe the Kissing Booth or Do Revenge or all these films that are kind of the trend nowadays, they don't take themselves seriously.
Yes.
I don't think Channing Tatum went on set of She's the Man and thought, this is my greatest film ever.
Was gonna, jumpstart my career. I think everyone was having fun, as you said.
Yeah.
Because I remember, again, watching the movie, we could feel that. We could feel everyone was having fun.
Yeah.
Which is the recipe for success. Because as you mentioned, Do Revenge. The problem with Do Revenge, Netflix sort of like recent comedy with...
what's her name? Camila Mendes. And what's her face? The one in Stranger Things?
Uma Thurman's daughter.
Yeah, that. She has a name.
She does have a name. I think she does have a name.
It will come to me.
The problem with that movie is that they do take themselves way too seriously.
Oh my god. It's insufferable.
And it is based on... It's like... based, I think, on Hitchcock movie. I think it's based on a...
That is funny.
Hitchcock
That's
product.
very funny.
And they really take themselves seriously. They try to... I don't think they were trying to push any political agenda there, but I think they try to make it political, because making a movie like that in 2023 means that you do appreciate, or you do feel the weight of politics, and the fact that people are going to watch it and sort of like connect dots, because it is what's going to happen on Instagram regardless. But back in early 2000, no one watched She's the Man and thought of gender stereotypes or like gender inequality. They were just enjoying the movie, which you can argue it's bad and good for different reasons. Like, you don't watch She's the Man thinking, okay, there is a political statement made there. But
also there is, because there is politics in everything, and I think it doesn't have to be overt, because I think in Do Revenge is too overt. Like, they're basically feeding you the answer. I think movies like the early 2000s, and even Mean Girls,
they were feminist without trying to.
Yeah, like they have a thesis, they have a statement, they have something they want to say, because otherwise they wouldn't be making a movie, right? Yeah. But it's like... And it comes more natural. It's just there. And if you want to understand it, good. If you don't, bad. In She's the Man, there is... I think we were both hyped up, because there is a scene where Viola starts playing, right? And you can see her mother, who always wanted her in the movie to be this perfect feminine girl, a debutante. The second Viola starts playing and she slaps, she's super good. Her mother, Viola. Yeah, she looks at, that's my girl, that's Viola. And that little sentence there meant a lot. That was already, that there was more politics and positive sort of like message there than in perhaps all Do Revenge altogether, or the movie. So sometimes it's not a matter to push a political agenda or political statement. A movie, as you said, just do something you care about.
I think that's actually very smart and true. A movie will be political regardless of whether you want it to be or not. Like, politics is everywhere. So your movie, if you have something to say, will end up being part of a discourse. No matter no matter what your intentions are, your movie will always be political, but don't make politics when you're making a movie. It's going to be political regardless, and it's up to the audience to, draw their messages.
Yeah. In something like She's the Man, like, the writing is really good. It's funny. The directing is good, because there's some like camera work that's like hilarious, just like the way the camera moves.
I love the principle. It's completely irrelevant, but I just wanted to say I love the principle.
Yeah. Whoever wrote, whoever produced, and whoever acted in it, they were all believable. Some more than others, perhaps. But
As you always gonna be.
As you, but like that's why it stands still today. It's because it's a well-made product, regardless of whether it's a rom-com or a teen movie. It's a good product,
and also it has personality.
It does.
I know it's based on the 12th Night, but just like 10 Things That I Hate About You,
but
it has
reworks
personality.
it, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you watch Mean Girls, there is a reason, I think, why we keep quoting Mean Girls, She's the Man. They are original. And even though they are inspired by work of the past, they are original. They stand on their own, and you quote those movies because they have a personality, they have a unique style. You immediately recognize them, you can immediately quote them. And I don't think a lot of comedies from Netflix specifically nowadays, they are not as remarkable. They are easy to forget. Them. Which I think is a huge issue. They're easy to forget. You can't really distinguish them, and you sort of like you think of them as a unique block. You know, you think of them as a one group. Like no one says, for example, just to throw one example that comes to mind, you can't remember, I bet, the name of even one of Vanessa Hudgens' new princess movies on Netflix, but you call them Vanessa Hudgens princess movies. Or Noah Centineo. You don't really sometimes remember the title.
No, it's like a genre.
You remember sort of like they're all the same, and it happens to be the same actor in it. And that, I think, is a huge issue.
It's a problem.
Like, where the hell is creativity there?
I wanted to add, because you said obviously She's the Man, even Mean Girls, they're not original, they're taken from something. Nothing is original. Like, there's this idea, I think, nowadays of like, oh, this has to be original. Nothing is original. I'm sorry.
Nothing
Shakespeare wasn't original. Hamlet is not an original story.
Everything is a rewriting and emulation of the same thing. I think there is.
It's about how you do it.
Quote from Save the Cat. What they will ask from you is the same thing, just different. So what you have to deliver in order to make a great movie, in this case a great comedy, is the same thing, really.
Yeah.
That your audience is familiar with, that you know your audience is gonna love, just in a slightly different format.
That's a very good point.
And I don't think Netflix new comedies truly understand that, because they're giving you the same thing, not even differently. Just the same
also
thing.
Also the same bad thing.
In a shittier format all the time. Like,
give it a number. Like, what would you rate it?
Okay. Ooh.
It's hard, isn't it?
Okay, personally, because of the nostalgia, for me it's a 10.
Nah.
No, personally,
I know.
about the nostalgia, but if I really have to give like a critic number, whatever, based on other products of early 2000, is 8.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say that 8 or 8.5.
For me, it's a 10 personally. Like,
because there's
never gonna be a time where someone asks me, "Do you like to see She's the Man?" I say no.
No,
I
of
don't
course
like
not.
It.
I'm not crazy.
It's a 10. You know, I'm always gonna say, "Yeah, sure, let's watch it."
Yeah, it's one of my favorite early 2000 movies.
Yeah. I think with Mean Girls, it's probably one of the best.
It's a tie.
And I'm sure we are forgetting a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Right now, but just Mean Girls is, you know,
it's because
the referential point.
Of course it is.
It's a 10.
You want my opinion? We should do for Mean Girls Day, October the 3rd. We should do something on Mean Girls.
We should also maybe let us know if you like us to review other early 2000 movies, and we can sort of like
we could make a throwback series.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. But yeah, let us know what's your favorite 2000 movie. Mine is Mean Girls.
I'm pretty sure yours is.
Yeah, easy. But there's a video out every Monday at 6. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media. It's all linked down below.